how much we appreciate you guys and gals supporting the show. You're awesome. So, all right, let's dive into a couple of different topics here. First of all, let's get into the Patreon questions group here. I always love hitting these. It's a lot of fun seeing, kind of testing the pulse of everyone in the Patreon group. It's just another perk of being in there. This is, how would you say that name, Jacob? How would you say that? DEIFIC. DEIFIC?
I don't want to take a stab at that one, to be honest.
Right, don't worry about it then. All right. Really cool profile pic with the dog with the sunglasses for sure. I know it hasn't escaped you guys that tight end is potentially a sneaky need. Naturally, the talk is around the top guys as they're pretty fun this year. Here's a different angle though. Malachi. Huh?
Is it Malachi or is
I think it actually
is a name? Maybe that is
Malachi. Maybe a typo there. Anyway, how do you say the last name? The last name.
Metabo.
Metabo. All right, close enough. From UCLA, could be interesting day 3 pick. Check out his particular scouting report. Quote, I'm convinced. Say it, Jacob.
Metabo.
There you go. I'm convinced Metabo is built for modern NFL zone-heavy passing attacks. The film shows a tight end who consistently punishes defenses that lose track of him in coverage, particularly in the UCLA-Fresno State matchup, where he worked the middle of the field like a veteran. Green Bay's offense stands out as an ideal landing spot. LaFleur's system perfectly matches how UCLA deployed him in 2024. Blocking concerns aren't going away overnight, but you're getting a 6'6" chain mover who already knows how to use his frame in the red zone. Watch his touchdown against Washington. That's NFL caliber spatial awareness against zone coverage. Give him a year to build up in his lower body strength and refine his blocking technique, and you've got yourself a legitimate tight end too with upside for more. The tight end class is loaded, and height, weight, speed specimens who are still figuring out how to play the position. Metabo's different. He's got limitations athletically, but the game tape shows a natural football player who just gets it. Put him in a zone-heavy scheme or system where he can read coverage and find soft spots, and he'll outperform his draft position by year 2. Any of y'all look at this cat. Just gave him a look. He's in the 170. He's actually in the 177 spot on our board. And, it's talking about, too, that he's kind of just one of those tape guys, right? He scored in the 6s in RAS, so obviously he doesn't get an RAS bonus there. We don't have a whole lot of information on him other than that. But you never know, man, late in the draft or maybe an undrafted free agent. This might be one of the guys that LaFleur looks into here. Now let's move on to Chris Ian. Love how he always puts – what do you call these guys? Are these GIFs, emojis? What is this?
Jiffies.
Yeah.
GIF.
Really quickly, just to Metabo, 99 overall season 6 card that you can buy with trophies now.
Oh,
and I mean, he's a blocking. It says he can block on college football, so I might need to pick him up.
Hey, real quick, whatever his name is, Maliki or Maliki Laka. Metabo is
Maliki, yeah.
Maliki. It says Metavo's an outstanding mover at 6'5", 265 pounds, which allows him to separate 91st percentile separation rate in 2024 and produce after the catch 7 yards after the catch in 2024, which was the 78th percentile. Did not grade well with PFF, which is interesting, but he's only 22 flat and he's 6'6", 263. I don't know. It's interesting there if he's a blocker. Can he block, Emilio?
According to college football, he can.
Can he block, Emilio?
While he's flashed as a run blocker, he's very hot and cold in that aspect. He projects as a TE2 with a ceiling worth betting on somewhere on day 3.
Thank you.
There you go. All right, Chris Ian in the Patreon questions. Why the heck haven't the Packers had a top 30 visit on Jaden Higgins? I think Tim might have hacked Chris in here. They're starting to make me nervous. No Senior Bowl, no top 30, and technically no threshold. Maybe he's not even on Goot's board. It doesn't mean he's not on his board, Chris. I think he's on his board, and I think he's probably pretty high. But you make a great point, man. When you look at tendencies, I'll tell you this. He probably would have fit one of 3 draft picks from last year, right, that didn't meet that criteria. It's just the majority of the guys that they draft seem to fall in Senior Bowl. Top 30 is a pretty good chunk, and obviously the athletic threshold. Now, in terms of the athletic threshold, it wasn't that he didn't meet it. It was just incomplete, if I remember correctly. So, and again, he should have the hearts next to him.
He does have the hearts. And he also has a -5 RAS.
Yeah, so he's meeting the threshold, Chris. There's no doubt about it. Now, again, incomplete RAS doesn't necessarily mean that Goody won't take him. I know there's some people that say that Goody has never taken someone with an incomplete RAS. I don't think that's true. I'm sure you can find a draft pick or two that Goody has taken that did not have a complete RAS card. It doesn't mean that they didn't get the answers to the questions, with an in-house visit or something like that as well, or maybe meeting somewhere else. So anyway, though, Higgins, though, I think he's on the board. What do you guys think? I mean, there's no way that Goody does not have him on his board, right?
I feel like he's one of those cases where he knows everything he needs to know. Like he's seen it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or he's using those 30 visits, the top 30 visits, to find out differences in players where he's on the fence about. If this is just my opinion, I think that he looks at Jaden Higgins and goes, I know exactly what I got in him, what could be there. I don't need to see any more other than if he falls to us, then that kind of thing. What do you think, Tim? Come on, Tim.
I think it would be foolish to think that he's not on Goody's board. I mean, I think he's on a lot of people's boards, but it could also be a scenario like we mentioned the other night. Maybe he did have a top 30 visit and we don't know it. It does happen. You can find out after the fact. So I don't know, man. I think either way, it's still a 50-50 shot if we go receiver in this draft, which I believe we will, if Higgins is even on the board available to be picked. So I don't see us reaching for him in the first round, and there's no guarantees that he's there with our second round picks. So I would agree with your statement. I think a lot of us kind of know what we're getting with Jaden Higgins, if you've done any kind of research on him at all. And I'm sure Goody and the scouting department has done a hell of a lot more than I have. So I think everybody kind of knows what we're getting right now. And incomplete RAS is not crazy to me.
Yeah. And I did reach out to Easton Butler earlier today. We were chatting back and forth, and I just asked him, if my count's correct, we're sitting at 25 in top 30 visits. You think we'll get wind of any others or keeping them under wraps based off your past experience? He said last year we got to 29, with the 29th coming day 3 of the draft. I bet one or two more will come out by Wednesday. So probably get to maybe 27 or 28 by Wednesday by the time we touch down in Green Bay. So we'll definitely check that out and keep our eye on those top 30 visits, as they're absolutely huge. So again, hearing Wildy and Tausch talk about the high percentage of prospects that they actually draft that they did top 30 visits with, has pretty much put to bed this whole folklore that GMs are wasting those top 30 visits on trying to throw a smoke screen. They're just too valuable for sure. So
Yep.
John Schmidt in the chat says a lot of top 30 visits this year screen medical questions, and Higgins is sort of what you get what you see. I think that's a great point, John.
Yeah.
I think that's a great point. It's exactly what Jacob was saying there.